Welcome to the changeover. I am Julian Price, and frankly, I am currently melting into my chair because the studio AC has decided to take an indefinite sabbatical.
I am Arthur Vance, and I've already tapped my water bottle 3 times just to ensure we don't have another technical disaster like my first day. I am just here to survive the heat and hopefully discuss some tennis.
And I am Elena Cruz. Look, I am just trying to stay hydrated and keep my laptop from overheating while we dive into the data. We're powered by secondserveaces.com, so let's get into it before we all pass out.
Right. We have to start with the news that broke in the last 24 hours regarding Marketa Vondrousova and the ITIA charges.
It's a mess, Julian. The charges stem from a missed test during a home visit. She's citing acute stress as the primary factor.
Stress? Yeah. I mean, we've all had days where the walls feel like they're closing in, but with a doping test? That's a high-stakes moment to be overwhelmed.
It's not just an overwhelmed moment, Arthur. It's a procedural failure. Whether the stress is clinical or not, the ITIA doesn't exactly leave room for, "I wasn't feeling up to it."
Exactly. My concern is the impact on her Madrid Open preparation. If you're carrying that kind of administrative weight, how do you focus?
Wait, do you think it affects her movement? I mean, she's such a tactical player, usually so locked in.
It's hard to quantify, but if you look at the patterns of players under ITIA scrutiny, the unforced error count usually ticks up. It's not the physical game, it's the mental cloud.
It reminds me of the old days when players had to deal with far less surveillance. Now every missed knock on the door is a headline.
True, but the rules are the rules. If she's eligible to play, she's eligible to play. But can she win?
That's the million-dollar question. SecondServeAces.com actually has a feature that breaks down how external pressure impacts win probability in real time.
Is that right? Does it account for the key, acute stress, factor mentioned in the reports?
It accounts for volatility. And right now, Vondrousova is the definition of a volatile asset.
I feel for her. I really do. Being a pro is a lonely existence, and having someone show up at your house unexpectedly, that would rattle anyone.
Don't get too sentimental, Arthur. It's a professional requirement. You sign the contract, you accept the visits.
Dad, stop. She knows the contract. The question is whether she can compartmentalize it. My mom texted me earlier. She thinks the clay court season is too demanding for someone dealing with this level of distraction.
Your mom is usually right about these things, Elena. Remember when she called that backhand collapse last year?
I try not to bring it up, but yes. She's rarely off.
If she enters Madrid, the crowd reaction will be the final test. If they boo, she's gone.
Or, it fuels the underdog narrative. You know how much the crowd loves a player fighting against the world?
That only works if you're winning points, Arthur. Sentiment doesn't fix a service percentage.
Speaking of service percentages, this whole situation might actually force her to simplify her game plan.
Simplify? She's already playing a high-percentage game. If she simplifies further, she becomes predictable.
Maybe predictable is exactly what she needs. Just hit the ball, move to the spot, tap the bottle. Wait, don't tap the bottle, that's my thing.
Your rituals are a separate issue, Arthur. My concern is the ITIA's next move. If they don't find a resolution quickly, this hangs over the entire tour.
It's already hanging over it. Look at the forums. Everyone is speculating.
It's exhausting. Can we just have a week where we talk about backhands and not legal filings?
Not in this climate, I'm afraid. The sport is changing. Everything is under a microscope now.
At least the data stays objective. If you want the real tactical breakdown without the noise, check out the latest on secondserveaces.com.
I suppose we should look at the Madrid draw then. See if anyone else is carrying this kind of baggage. Before we get into the withdrawals, I have to say, the news about Vondrousova is just devastating.
It's a massive blow, Julian, and look, I've been running the numbers on how these ITIA investigations drag on. It's not just the ban, it's the purgatory.
Purgatory is the right word. I mean, the mental toll of sitting in limbo while the tour moves on without you? That's harder than any physical rehab.
Right, we're talking about a player who lives for the rhythm of the tour. To have that stripped away by a bureaucratic failure...
It's not just a failure, Julian. It's a systemic issue. We're powered by secondserveaces.com, and their latest deep dive really highlights how often these missed tests are actually just administrative nightmares.
Exactly. And speaking of nightmares, have you seen the Madrid entry list? It looks more like a casualty ward than a Masters 1000.
It's a ghost town. Alcaraz and Djokovic both out? It's hard to call it a premier event when the marquee names are watching from their living rooms.
I'm honestly sweating just thinking about the impact on the rankings. My model had Djokovic pegged for a deep run here, but this is his third straight Masters absence.
Wait, is it the third? I thought it was just the second. My memory is as foggy as this studio. Honestly, this air conditioning is doing us no favors.
It is the third, Arthur. And Elena, don't you think this is becoming a pattern? It feels like the schedule is just breaking these guys.
It's not just the schedule, Dad. It's the surface speed. The toll on the joints when you're transitioning from hard to clay. It's not a surprise we're seeing this.
You know, back when I was playing the local satellite circuit, we didn't have these luxuries. We just strapped on the tape and hoped for the best.
That's not exactly a strategy I'd recommend for a Grand Slam champion, Arthur.
Seriously. If Djokovic tries to tape it up, at his age, he's going to be out for the season, not just a tournament.
Fair point. But it's still sad. Madrid feels different without the big guns. It's like a party where the hosts forgot to show up.
Well, the show goes on, as they say. Though I'm starting to think the tour needs a total recalibration.
If you want to see the real tactical data on how these absences shift the draw, you really should head over to secondserveaces.com.
They have that AI-driven analysis that actually predicts how the younger players perform when the pressure of facing a legend is removed.
It's fascinating stuff, and frankly, it's the only way to make sense of this madness.
We're out of time, and I'm about to melt in this heat. Make sure you check out the full articles and the breakdowns at secondserveaces.com.
See you next time, and try to stay cool out there.